Ready? I didn't add an intro for you. If you want to just slip it in. Okay. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's Pride Week flag raising ceremony. My name is Dan Shire, co-chair of Queen City Pride, and I use he/him pronouns.
And my name is Lisa, and I'm the other co-chair of Queen City Pride, she/her.
We're excited to be hosting the Pride Week flag raising ceremony here in front of City Hall. This event is being broadcast from the traditional territories of the Nihilwak, Anishinaabe, Dakota, Lakota, and Nakota peoples, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. We recognize that homophobia and transphobia were brought here through colonization, and the fight against these forms of repression requires the work of decolonization. Today and every day, we thank our Two-Spirit and Indigenous leaders who have taught us, stuck with us, and lead us. We're grateful to be able to celebrate Pride on these lands. A bit of housekeeping. This event is being broadcast to allow folks to participate remotely. Please be mindful of the microphones, speak loud and clear, and please put your phone on vibrate. For folks who have gathered here in person, thank you for coming out. We ask that you help us to maintain a safe event environment and keep 2 meters apart and wear masks if you have one. Greet one another in a creative way that doesn't involve shaking hands.
Before we raise the flag, we'd like to introduce our guest speakers from various queer and trans organizations from our city and province. The Pride Festival that happens each year would not be vibrant. There's a vibrant celebration of inclusion and diversity if we weren't without the participation of these and many other community partners. Today we have representatives from All Nations Hope, TransSask Support Services, UR Pride, the Gay and Lesbian Community of Regina, and the City of Regina.
Now we'd like to invite Wesley Kiwatin to speak on behalf of All Nations Hope Network.
Good morning, dear people. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak, to open up this very special week. Being gay and two-spirited, like in the city here, I'm so grateful that we are accepted, This was in the 70s and in the 80s. That's when I was growing up. And today, I am much older, and I'm so grateful that the people understand who we are. That we are human beings. We belong here. They're accepting us as who we are. We love one another, So I am very thankful to Queen City Pride for organizing such an event. People can see us for who we are. So I honor them. Bringing people together who are still here. And of course, our beautiful city. Welcome, the dignitaries, elders, and of course, the visitors everyone to like to say I recognize some of the faces. Thank you for saying I want you to believe this. Thank you. Guys, up next is TransSask Support Services. Hi. My name is the co-chair of TransSask Support Services, which is a provincial nonprofit with the mission to support trans and gender diverse people throughout this province and land we call home. Myself and some of my experiences, reality, and message are to be a bit different. Through this reality, I'm often faced with subtle and outright discrimination and hatred. It is painful to say that this is particularly true in Saskatchewan, particularly true in Regina. For me now, I need to be careful how I present myself because people don't understand and don't accept by and large. But while we may have received legal rights, these are often not upheld by the Saskatchewan Human Rights Commission, outright ignored by many of our neighbors and family. I won't share the details of the abuses that I and other trans women and trans people experience on a near daily basis, but suffice to say the struggle is real enough that it leaves many depressed, anxious, addicted, and suicidal simply because of trying to survive in this sometimes brutal world. As we reflect upon Pride during the pandemic, I am reminded again and again of the importance of community. The privilege I have of being able to surround myself with loved ones and trans people during this trying time. But many people are trapped in unsupportive situations, in particular queer and trans youth who may not be able to be out at home, and seniors who are often pushed back into the closet as they move into their homes or receive extended supportive care. During these critical times, it is critical that we talk about the importance of mental health and suicidality. And I would be remiss to fail to mention Tristan, who has been at the lounge fasting and ceremony for over 30 days and intends to continue his fast for 44 days. The number of South Party representatives who the support suicide prevention initiatives. One of the teachings I've heard Tristan share from his discussion with elders is that whatever solutions are developed, they must be community-centered and community-driven. So I ask you, how are we supporting those in our communities who are managing depression, anxiety, addiction, suicidality, and other difficult mental health situations? It has to be the correct pronouns and updating our names to include gender diversity. It has to include reckoning with our deeply internalized racism, transphobia, and transmisogyny. A word many of you are likely not to know or properly understand, but that is central to an understanding of the lives and trials of trans women and trans femmes. We need to critically examine our communities and the services it offers. I would be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed and frustrated that our community can raise $20,000 to help financially support a bar when there are mental health initiatives for queer and trans people that are struggling to raise a fraction of that. I see my friends and loved ones in the community struggling so deeply. While community spaces are important, certainly, we cannot simply continue to go to the community process. So this is why I challenge you, as I do every year, to examine our communities. Where are the trans people? Where are the bi and pan people? Asexuals? Are they creating spaces for queer belonging rights? Are there spaces even accessible for what is needed by these underrepresented groups? Or are people not showing up because of fundamentally failing to understand who and what is missing? TransSask is not a perfect organization by any means, but we will continue to focus on growing and nurturing those in need, of challenging ourselves to cede space where we can, and I encourage you to critically reflect on your and your organization's efforts to truly build community. How are you supporting trans people beyond using their pronouns and names? This is so often the bar that is set, but between me and all of you, this bar is still on the ground. Thanks.
Thank you, Kat. Next, I would like to welcome Jack to the stage.
Hello, everybody. As you know, my name is Jack Foster. I am the Executive Director of Your Pride Center. And today we are celebrating Pride. And while Pride is a time for celebration, we must remember that Pride has its origins as a protest. Drag queens of color. And in our own city, the Pride celebrations, as we know them, were started by local LGBTQ people who had to wear masks on their heads as they marched down Albert Street after being told that they couldn't. Some of whom are here today. Let us make this Pride season remembering those protests, remembering how important it is to defend better for those who are most marginalized in LGBTQ communities. Trans women, two-spirit people, queer trans, Black, Indigenous people of color, disabled people, sex workers, immigrants, people living with HIV, survivors of violence, and so much more. It is necessary that LGBT agencies and organizations in our city step up and start interrogating how we calculate the same forms of marginalization and violence against people in our community that we challenge in mainstream society. This year, Your Pride has spent a lot of time as an organization reflecting on what it means to challenge the ways that we, Your Pride, has harmed people coming in and perpetuated racism, colonialism, trans misogyny, and state violence. This is hard. This means we literally have to put money where our mouth is. This means we have to be willing to admit that yes, we have made mistakes and we continue to make mistakes. This is hard. It means that we have to be willing to give up space and disrupt the standard ways that we've done things over the past 2 decades. And that is scary. We are constantly scared that we are going to fuck up. And we most likely will. And I am hoping that our community will hold us accountable to that. That our community will tell us that we are fucking up, and that is bad. So I urge us all of us who are here from other LGBT organizations, to truly look internally at ourselves as organizations, be willing to admit that we are not perfect, that we continue to harm people, perhaps unknowingly, but that doesn't really matter. We have to look internally at ourselves, be willing to make changes, be willing to accept criticism, often criticism that is being yelled at us. It is still valid, it is still important to listen to. And until we do that, we will not be able to fight for all queer people. We will not be able to celebrate Pride truly. And we will not be able to put an end to homophobia and transphobia in our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Up next, we have Corey Oxelgren from the Gay and Lesbian Community of Regina.
I was thinking, what would I add to this? And I'm thinking that I've been around for a number of years, and I've been involved in the community for 25. And I've seen where we came small little community in Canada and North America. And I can say that if you look at what we've done over the last number of years, we have so many things to be proud of. We have things in my memories. Years that we made it one of the many university-run organizations like both SEUs and now a seniors organization. TransSask has been working for a number of years doing so much good work and bringing out the raising the issues that they face. And we all have to support each other. I think that's one of the key things that brings us here together today, Lisa. All the good work you guys are doing in your organization. It's amazing where we started from. I remember one year we had a $300 budget trying to run Pride. That was great. That was great. And the support we had, $300 budget to what we have these days. Unfortunately, the virus has set us back a bit, but here we are still. So congratulate the work they've done. In fact, recently they just hosted the Canadian Pride organizations in Regina. And anything I ever heard from any of the participants of that organization was how amazing it was. And how a great job you guys did. So congratulations on your job for that. I was proud. One organization I forgot to mention because I see Joyce sitting over there is the court, the RSAR, and they also have been in existence for so many years and doing good work. So I think what the main thing I'm trying to say is we all have to work together, learn from each other. And you're right. The previous two speakers said this. There are things we have to learn from each other, but I still think we all have to work together because that's how we got here from 50, 60 years ago to now. So I appreciate what thank you very much, and good luck on the rest of your week. It sounds very exciting given the times. It's going to be good and fun. Thank you.
I'll go first. You go second? Okay. All right. Today we want to acknowledge that we're flying a different flag. In previous years, Queen Street Project felt the iconic 6-color pride flag in all the Pride Month in Saskatchewan. In 2018, we raised not one but two flags, and for the first time, pink, light blue, and white pride flag as part of our ceremony and as a symbolic gesture to encourage our community to make relationships during divisive times. We join prides from all around the world in raising the there are many symbols that have represented the 2S LGBTQIA+ movement. The pink triangle, Gilbert Baker's pride flag, and many variations of it has been used to unite our communities. The Progress flag, designed by Daniel Kreisler, takes inspiration from Philadelphia's flag, black and brown, black and brown, and Monica Helm's transgender pride flag to focus on inclusion and progress within the 2S LGBTQIA+ communities. Light blue and white represent people of color, trans individuals, and people living with HIV and AIDS, and those who've been lost, and bring those voices to the forefront. 2020 has been an incredibly challenging year for everyone. As a result of the pandemic, over 500 prides worldwide have been canceled or had to move their events. Our communities continue to struggle with the challenges of adapting to a new reality. This year has shown us and openly by city justices that are constant in our world. In the U.S., more transgender this year than in 2019. We're not even done 2020 yet. In both Canada and the U.S., we've seen protests and rallies in response to the program and injustices towards Black and Indigenous people. Some may say these issues have
part the TSLGBTQIA plus injustice anywhere is a threat to justice. Are interconnected? That's why it says in the flag display that weaves together the colors of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple with black, brown, light blue, pink, and white.
As you take in this week's activities, please spare a moment to reflect on our histories and the lessons we've learned. Use your privilege to support people around you. Give up the spaces you occupy in order to make room for the voices unheard. Be kind and respectful to one another. Happy Pride Month.
And now, I'll invite me to judges. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation to be here. I'd like to greetings on behalf of Regina City Council and our Regina residents. I want to acknowledge the council and better for them. And I'm trying to listen quickly to the gospel to them in this evening. Which is an interesting time really with COVID-19. It has been a heck of a bad year, and we hope things will get better, but I want to thank God for what you're doing to celebrate in a different way. So the events throughout the week, but I think we should have you please at the end of the team a big round of applause for organizing this morning and the events throughout the week. Done a great job every year. So all the speakers spoke of it's a simple concept to understand. They're written down in law. They are there for everyone to understand, but the reality of life is very different. And while we've made progress over the last 20 to 30 years, we have a long way to go. And the speakers before me just said that so very, very eloquently. For the City Council and Regina residents to have the flag here is important, but it also, you must know, I hope you do understand, the City Council takes this extremely seriously. We live in a wonderful city with so many good things that are happening, but we have so much work to do. We're having information, participation, intelligence, happens every day, but we don't keep our mind on it. We should get into things where we have understanding. We'll go backwards. And I would generate residents from their strong belief and understanding of equality for everyone. It's really important. So this week, I'll be thinking about how we can do better as a city. Those committed against the field range for the young. So I choose not to go by the way we wish you all the best in the future. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for allowing us to raise your flag today. Have a great Regina Day. Thank you very much.
And now we're going to take a moment to pan the camera to the flagpole, and we're going to raise this flag.
Reimagine Pride with over 20 events and activities that range from live streams like this one to scavenger hunts, augmented reality tours, car parades, and drive-ins. So thank you to SK Arts, the City of Regina, Business and Arts, Canadian Heritage, the Government of Saskatchewan, Sask Potteries, Regal Cinemas, obviously Relevant, Creative Options Regina, TD Bank Group, UR Pride, Industrial Law, Government Media, and Echo Lotto. Before we sign off, be sure to visit Queen City Pride to find out all about this year's events and how to enjoy them. Be sure to get your tickets for our annual online ticket app at pride5050.ca. The current lot is $860. If you're looking for Pride gear and want to support local, Queen City Pride has its own online store. Just visit store.queencitypride.ca and enjoy free pickup or super cheap local delivery. This concludes our ceremony, and we thank you for joining us today. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride!